that the certificate, any which ways, is something that holds some kind of importance. But several other things. They said they could not verify, or the documents, the entry documents, the documents the president used to gain admission into the schools. But there are different arguments, and they came out yesterday to say that Atiku's press conference was a gross contempt of the Supreme Court. You can find that story on the Punch newspaper, and where they were saying that the press conference was a contempt of the Supreme Court. We'd like to see how this like I said yesterday, how this movie, this drama unfolds, and it's going to be really interesting. However, like I said yesterday, grab your popcorn, or is it popcorn we do in Nigeria? Whatever it is that you use when you want to watch a movie, grab it right now, cross your legs, relax. It's gonna be a wonderful ride, I should say. However, there is the last part to it. Yesterday, still at the press conference, while the former VP was making the accusations and allegations that he made yesterday, he called on the leader. I don't know if he's still the leader of the NNPP, because the problem that they are having at the national level. But he called on Kwankwaso and said, "Come, join me as I seek for justice." Kwankwaso has not said anything. He called on Obi to come join the movement for justice. However, the reply that came this morning, oh my goodness, there is the headline: "Don't drag Obi into your Tinubu fight. LP tells Atiku." That was from the leadership of the Labour Party, asking the presidential candidate of the PDP not to involve, not leave my candidate out of this. Please leave him. He's not a part of this. I'm wondering if Labour Party now sees the possibility that after the deposition of Chicago State University, that it might not hold water. I do not know. Or maybe they're going to use it in another way, another strategy different from that of what's it called now? The former vice president, Atiku Abubakar. I'm saying this because, not too long ago, even Peter Obi had made some, indirect statement about certification and said, "See, I know my classmates, I know my classmates, tell them to verify," something in that nature. However, even Peter Obi has been reported to say, "Leave me out of this. I am not a part of it. I do not want to be a part of it." However, it really is getting interesting. What are your thoughts on all of this? I'd like to hear from you. What are your thoughts? I'll open the phone line shortly, but let's quickly move on to the next big story. Petrol depots empty due to landing costs hitting 720 naira per litre. Now, this is not a fun story. This is not as fun as the previous story I brought your way. This story is one that we have to be wary of. It's one that we really need to show concern. And I'll tell you why. If landing cost is hitting 720 naira per litre due to the forex, the dollar keeps beating the naira mercilessly, and things are expensive when we tend to import them. And this is one of those things that we bring back to the country, even though there is some kind of arrangement where we give crude oil and all of that. They call it the crude oil swap deal, something of that nature. But you see, it looks like some people are arguing that subsidy may have come back in a subtle way, in a minor way, not extensively, but in a way where government has to pay something, or else you and I will not be able to afford petrol. And it's one for concern, because the marketers are saying, government, we know Fito. Our filling stations are closing down. Depots are currently empty. What do we do? What can we do? Our 12 o'clock bulletin carried the story, so I'm just going to quickly read that one before we go for our first commercial break. Petroleum product dealers say depots are deserted due to lack of products caused by foreign exchange rate volatility. This is as the landing cost of petrol increased to 720 naira per litre from the 651 naira per litre it was in August. The national president of the Natural Oil and Gas Suppliers Association of Nigeria, NOGASA, Benneth Kore, said this during the National Executive Council meeting in Abuja. He said filling stations are shutting down daily as it is becoming increasingly tough to run the business. Nogasa said this could lead to widespread fuel scarcity in the coming months. Maybe not now, because I've gone around my vicinity, my locality, to check if the petrol stations are open, and yeah, I did see a couple. I see that there's been no real increment in price. One is selling for $5.95, another is selling for $5.91. So yeah, they are operational. Even if I saw two looking as if they shut down some way or somehow, I do not know. Hey, well, what I'm suspecting, just like someone said about gas, cooking gas reaching 18,000 naira for a 12.5 kg in December, I'm guessing this might become a reality in the December period, just like last year when it was so difficult for a lot of people to travel. So which way forward now? That's the first question in my head. Which way forward? Because Labour has already reached some kind of agreement with the federal government, and if the federal government is able to reach the agreement or the various agreements or the various articles in that agreement, then I wonder if Labour will be able to still shout if there is a possible, or if there is a pump price increase of petrol. Because how do you expect these people to do business? They go there to buy, and there is an increment in petrol, and that's why the depot guys can't even buy. So the depot guys eventually buy. The petrol stations will also buy expensively, and they will have to sell to make profit. This is something we need to be wary of. This is not a fun news, like I said, but I've got to move on. I've got to move on to the next one. And the next one is talking about, I don't know if it's a good news, but you will be the judge. Federal government in talks with World Bank seeks solutions to forex crisis. I just told you what forex is doing to the petrol price, possible fuel scarcity according to the dealers of petroleum products. But now there is to talk about, having some kind of meeting. Forex crisis. FG begins talks with World Bank, solution underway. You would see the article I'm referring to. But I'm just going to quickly quote the Minister of Finance, Wale Edun, as quoted by the Nairametrics. And he said, I have just risen from a meeting of the Economic Coordination Committee as stipulated by His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to make sure that there is collaboration, coordination and cooperation. And as you can imagine, full communication in terms of the economic management of our dear country. And so we went through things like the economic management framework, which would include a lot of consultations step by step with other stakeholders, including the private sector, that will serve as one of the key ad hoc committees that we put together, and the updated and expanded National Development Plan. Even earlier, we were meeting with the World Bank. As we know, this is a time of very tight foreign exchange liquidity. So it must be sought and found wherever. Underline that part. So it must be sought and found anywhere. And one of these cheap and viable ways is foreign exchange funding. We'll get back to that when we come back from the commercial break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Welcome back to Hard Facts 92.3 Nigeria Info. I am Kala Dakurubatibo. 28 minutes gone past the hour of 3. We're looking at the third big story, and the third big story talks about the foreign exchange crisis. We're looking at solutions, and this time the federal government is going to the World Bank to look for solutions, and I've got some talking points there. But first of all, I was giving you the details, so just stay tuned yet again. So I was reading, and I think I stopped somewhere around where Wale Edun, the Minister of Finance, was talking, and he said even earlier we were meeting with the World Bank. As we know, this is a time of very tight foreign exchange liquidity. So it must be sought and found wherever. And I reminded you to underline that part where they are saying they're looking for foreign exchange liquidity where it can be found. Now, it goes on to say, and one of those cheap and viable ways is foreign exchange funding, which virtually comes free. So they will be looking for foreign exchange funding from the World Bank. That's what I understand. I don't know how you understand it. But then it goes ahead to say a lot of it has, that's the funding, a lot of it has zero interest from the World Bank, a multilateral development institution set up to help developing countries such as ours. And of course, you have to be able to tell them this is the economic plan. You all know the measures that Mr. President has taken. We have briefly dealt with the issue of subsidy that was draining government revenues. He has briefly dealt with the foreign exchange situation and multiple windows, which was deterring investors. But as we know, there is much to be done. So this morning's session was a way of explaining our plan to attract the cheapest or most available of those funds. So that is just to spend the time I have with you, explaining myself, communicating, and there is much more of that to be done, Edun said. All right, so speaking further, the minister appealed to the public, emphasizing that the federal government is racing against time to profess solutions to the nation's economy. And I quote again, President Tinubu is ultimately encouraging investments that will increase productivity, that will grow the economy, create jobs, and reduce poverty. All these will certainly be put on the right trajectory, which will yield results in the not too distant future. So that's the part that interests me. You can go read the full article on Nairametrics, and basically he's saying that the forex crisis, there is no solution yet. That's the second thing I understand. The first thing I understand from that article is that they are going to the World Bank for solutions, because number two, there are no solutions yet. That means the Naira may not, I do not know, I might be wrong, I'm not an economist, time soon. And of course, he said we should be patient with the president, that the president is racing against time to get things done, to reverse the current economic trajectory we are traveling on. So my question is, what is on your mind concerning this? I never get to tell you what is on my mind, so it doesn't look like I'm a partial and unbiased moderator. Someone accused me yesterday, so I'm even very more careful to ensure that I gave you a neutral platform where you can air your views on the issues that we get to review. That being said, I'm going to open the phone lines now. Remember, we're live on Facebook, Nigeria Info PH. Remember, we're live on YouTube as well, Nigeria Info PH. And we're active on X, Nigeria Info PH. You can do WhatsApp 0809 030 6416. But I really am more focused on taking messages from Facebook and X, so you could drop your messages there. But just to ring the studio because you want to join the conversation, use these numbers: 0817 923 0002. Yeah, 0817 923 0003. I do have the option of a WhatsApp call for those who are outside Nigeria. You have to be using an international number to call via WhatsApp. So yeah, there is that open platform for that. You can do so. We can expand our conversation to the people in diaspora. That being said, let's go straight to WhatsApp first, and let's see. This is the greatest mistakes ever made by Nigeria is the introduction of independent petroleum marketers into the Nigerian economy. God may not forgive those that did this to us. the association should be scrapped. Is it that we don't have economies in our country? Like often said, why did our educators not tell us that Mungo Park was the first white man to visit a village along the River Niger, other than, say, Park discovered River Niger? See, we have those who have produced and continue to produce petroleum products in Nigeria that the government called illegal. Nigeria is not the only country that was colonized. Let the government do the needful. Ovie from Port Harcourt send that one in. All right, this one says, good day, Mr. Kala Dakuribatabo. Atiku's move to Supreme Court alleged President Bola Tinubu forged a certificate. This is a step in the right direction because some Nigerian politicians and top-ranking officials or officers in various institutions are fond of using forged certificates, used and reserved them in their possession. Owanate Clinton West. Your message was not very clear, but I had to do the best way I can. I've got Zion. Zion is calling from GRA. Let's listen to Zion. Hello, Zion. Greetings to you.
Good afternoon to you.
Yeah, good afternoon. Welcome.
Nigerians to seek World Bank advice.
Something like that.
Crash.
Yeah, something like that.
I've said this before, and I want to reiterate it here. You see the CBN governor that was screened. He was not the right person for the job.
How do you know that?
His resume disqualified him totally. This issue of Naira crashing in the FX, so it will continue. And I want you to put this on observation carefully.
All right.
Share now is about 1,000 plus, right?
Something like that.
Whenever Nigeria government make any financial statistical error, the Naira will fall, the dollar will rise. Put this on record. See, our problem, it needs an internal solution.
All right.
We don't need foreigners to come help us presently. Our focused on the foreign, which is the Western world, for financial issue. The Naira will fall, the dollar, because they know that these people are not serious. Everybody is looking on how to make more money to conquer the world. Neo-colonialism. You don't say it's stupid to be borrowing people money up and down. Don't they have an issue? The reason they will borrow you money is because they are coming to have a stake in your country.
All right then.
And
all right.
Until we get this issue of this FX, please get my number. Get me directly. Let us discuss off air. Let me give you the solution which I've given to few professionals.
All right.
See,
all right.
This issue of certificate and the professor and the this, I detest that thing. Because at a dying time like this, we need our professors, doctorate degree holders to rise up and say, this must stop.
All right. All right, Zion, I've got to go. Zion, I've got to go. Thank you very much. I've got Frank from D-Line waiting. Frank, good afternoon to you. Yeah, Frank, welcome.
Let me react on the statement of Labour Party.
Oh, okay.
Don't drag Obi into your fight with Tinubu, said Labour Party. Yes, they are correct. Why I say so? The Labour Party presidential candidate matter is in court. Other parties, their matter is in court. Why drag him into his own matter? Because if we ask them to come and join, it means that they will withdraw their case. And all of them claim that they won the election and they declare the wrong person winner being Ahmed Tinubu. And I bet councillors that they should jettison their ambition and join this man to move Nigeria forward. I have only one country. Maybe the other time they can come out again. Since Atiku is checking for his age, that's why he's fighting all those fights. But at the end of the day, I don't know, Supreme Court will do the justice, and I know that he will not come out victorious. This is my comment. Thank you, and God bless.
All right, thank you very much. I've got gift from Yenegwa. Gift from Yenegwa. Welcome on the show. What is on your mind, please? Tell me quickly.
Good afternoon, Kalada.
Yeah, good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm doing great. Welcome.
Okay, let me talk about this certificate whether controversy. Any picture they want to use and thinking they are free.
Are you there? Hello, Gift. Okay, is that all you wanted to say? What happened? Call back if you can hear me, Gift. What happened? How did that end? Just like that. But let's take a listen to what APC had to say through its spokesperson, Felix Moka, concerning the Vice President's World Press Conference yesterday.
I couldn't put my finger on why he actually called a so-called World Press Conference. Now, the only thing I can say was that it was simply another occasion by Atiku Abubakar to beat his started an empty drum of lies, of distortions, of untruths, of sheer falsehood. When you lose an election, especially for a man who has serially lost the presidential election, I can understand that, he is affected by his serial loss. That's an emotional issue for him, and I sympathize with him.
The claim was that President Bola Tinubu did not attend Chicago State University. When they were met on this, they now went to the certificate that he presented to INEC was forged. And then again, the school simply stated in the deposition that we don't have a copy of the certificate that was presented to INEC. Reason being that the practice of the school is such that diplomas are considered merely ceremonial. The reason why they don't have a copy of it is that once they order for a certificate, a diploma, and you pick it up as a ceremonial document, that's it.
So the second voice that you just listened to is Tinubu's lawyer, Oluwole Afolabi. I think is in the US. I stand to be corrected. I'm not certain. But yeah, he was the one speaking in that one, and he says there is, oh my goodness. Okay, moving on. Let's see. Gift from Uruguay is back so quickly to Gift. Gift, what's on your mind? I don't know why we lost that connection so quickly, please.
I don't even know Canada, my brother.
Yeah, quickly.
To the point because of the bad network. The truth of the matter, you heard from Afolabi and you heard from Moka. The truth of the matter, Atiku should go and prove his case.
Okay.
In the first place, the Electoral Act does not even give you that right to even go with fresh evidence.
There is the caveat for fresh evidence. There is the caveat for fresh evidence if it's something very striking.
About all those stories in social media.
No. Lawyers have said it. Okay. All right then.
Fresh evidence. This is a man who told the world that Bola Tinubu never went to that very Chicago University.
Okay.
At the end of the day, now they satisfied that this man is their own student. Now you turn around again. I'm not that gullible.
All right then.
This bagwagon followership, where somebody will come up with one, just spew a thing, everybody will follow. I will never try it.
All right then. Thank you, Gift. Thank you, Gift.
Let's wait and see.
All right.
It was the same people that went to Supreme Court to talk about INEC does not have the power to even disqualify. Today, the same people are shouting, why is it that INEC allowed this to happen? Knowing to them that Atiku, at a point in time, went to Supreme Court to get a judgment to even stop INEC, not to even disqualify any candidate in this country.
All right, then.
They have forgotten. This man will continue to put this path, and it will end like the one of Zeratua. It will end like the one of, what is his name, Buhari. The same thing will still play out.
All right. Thank you very much, Gift. I've got to go now.
The certificate is authentic.
Okay.
As far as I'm concerned.
All right. Thank you very much. Muriel from Okrika. Sorry for the long wait. Welcome. What is on your mind, please? Let's hear you.
Oh, Canada, I have to call back.
Oh, sorry about that. Sorry. I tried to let Gift go on time. Dakuku from HA. Yeah, welcome. Yeah.
The president, according to media, that you move to bring investors in Nigeria for other things. Listen, that is not a problem. When the fuel and the fuel is cost, how can investors come? And you know security. Nigeria have a sport. We are insecurity. How can you see that investor will call or his property or himself will be able to be kidnapped? They cannot we cannot be able to achieve. They cannot achieve. So therefore, this we are being settled in this country. Why is that investor coming up to invest? That's the major problem. And now let me talk about the certificate.
Quickly, please. Quickly. Hello, are you there?
They have for us because of judiciary. Judiciary have corrupt this country. They are the people who kept this country in this way.
Okay.
So we don't have something to do. If somebody cannot achieve it, what is your own belong? That's why you have the money. I get my point. So we cannot look of that. Atiku will not achieve anything. Thank you, this is Atiku from Okete.
All right, Dakuku, thank you very much. Your line was not very clear, but Nkpon Ikanke Udwaka on Facebook says federal government in talks with World Bank to seek solution for forex crisis. Funny country. We have a lot of things in this country that we can use to generate forex currency in this country. Just talk the sports sector, develop it, and you'll start exporting talent abroad and making foreign exchange. Imagine if Osimhen moved from Rivers United to Napoli for 80 million euros. Imagine the kind of forex we would have made from just that. Football is one of France's highest earners in stock exchange. You went ahead to say Atiku heads to Supreme Court, alleged Tinubu forged certificate. For me, the Dubai man should go and enjoy his pension in peace in Dubai. Wasting his Nigerian money and American lawyers in Chicago. And then you went ahead to say Petrol depot empty due to landing costs. Why can't Rivers and Bielsa come together to build a modular refinery? Imagine the employment alone. Otto Kwala says, greetings, Kalada. Tinubu will still be president no matter what. There is nothing Atiku can do about it. Nigeria is one of those countries the Senate or the people can't unseat a ruling president. Oh, okay. Then Fred says, there is always one thing I know and I believe on, and that as much as God Almighty is on and is able, I don't get it. He's on his throne. One thing I know for sure is that he has much of... I can understand your message. I'm sorry. But I've got to go back to the phone line. I've got Daniel, Jude, and Obed standing by. So I'm going to start with Daniel. Daniel, welcome. What is on your mind?
Hello?
I can hear you. I'm listening quickly. Other people are waiting to talk. So quickly.
Yes. I want to talk about that of Atiku's certificate. Tinubu's Tinubu's saga. Yes, does it really mean that the presence in Nigeria from Buhari to Atiku, does it mean that without forging their certificate that they cannot rule?
There is no. Daniel, I've got to stop you there. There is nowhere it's been proven that the leaders that you've mentioned forged their certificate. So you can't even say that on air.
Okay.
So you have to retract that.
Allegedly.
You have to retract that. Thank you.
It's all right. So, hello?
Yeah, I'm listening to you. Go ahead.
So, let us watch if Supreme Court this time will give a right judgment for us to know what to do next.
All right, what's on your mind, please?
Yeah, the Labour Party's response to Atiku's call. It sounds like the Labour Party did not get Atiku correct. They did not understand Atiku very well.
Okay.
Atiku did not call for finance to help him prosecute the battle, the legal battle. No. Atiku said, Atiku's call is for justice. And even some of us, or those outside the legal battle, the civil society, what they're doing outside is because they cannot go to court to prosecute this case. And that's why he's calling on them, on the parties that are already in court, to join hands with him to fight for justice. And
they say they are not joining. So how did they misunderstand?
Yes, that's what I mean. Already the Labour Party is in court.
Okay.
Labour Party is already in court.
So Labour Party being in court. So now listen now, Jude. Jude.
And now.
Can you listen
to
me?
So he is not asking for finance.
Okay.
He said, let's fight for justice.
Okay, fine.
I think that call is very correct.
Okay.
All of us should join hands to fight for justice.
Okay.
The way the matter appears in international community, because we, the Nigerians, and listen to the lawyers, both from APC, PDP, and other lawyers, if this matter is not properly handled by the Supreme Court, we are already ridiculed.
All right, thank you, Jude. I've got to go. Thank you very much. Obed from Rumakuta, welcome. What's on your mind, please?
Canada.
Yeah, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, afternoon.
Canada, I must commend the former vice president.
Okay.
For the fight, the doggedness, and he went all through the way to unravel what have been hidden over the years.
Okay.
If you listen, he was paying tribute to former Ghanaian who started this fight.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
I attended the University of Port Harcourt. And if somebody wants to go and make inquiry about my qualification or education background, I think I will not be perturbed about it. So I am worried that a lawyer who spoke was the same who was fighting that the information should not be handed to Atiku. And is coming out to speak from the other side. So it tells me that something is fishy.
Right.
You understand?
All right.
So Atiku have actually done well.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
You must be able to defend your certificate. You can't just make pronouncement that you have a certificate, you are the best student. But what we are seeing is a different thing. You understand? So I think let's wait on what the judgment is going to be like. You understand? And I must commend that.
Obed, can I ask you a question? Have you gone through the documents that were released, as seen online? Have you gone through the documents, the transcripts, the various? Have you gone through the deposition by Chicago State University? Have you?
Look, Canada, I've gone through the transcripts.
All right then.
But let me tell you, that university, they are hiding something.
Okay.
It's telling me that what is happening in Nigeria may have big things.
Okay.
So that university.
So Obed, I've got to go, but I want to quickly ask you a question. If they are hiding something, then how can you use them as evidence in court if you know that they are hiding something, and that means you've not yet uncovered the truth?
No. You cannot say so. You cannot say so. Canada.
Okay. I've got to go now. Obed, I've got to go.
Time with her.
Okay. All right then. All right. Muriel yet again has had to wait. Muriel, apologies yet again. Welcome. Muriel is calling from Okrika. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Canada. Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, Canada, our finance minister going to World Bank. Canada, if I may ask, what is he going to do there? Are they going to beg the U.S.?
They're looking for solutions.
They're
looking for solutions. They're looking for forex funding.
The solutions. Yes, Canada. These solutions, what would the solutions be? These countries are making policies that are boosting their currency. So are you going to plead with them to stop the growth of their currency just for your sake? Look, Canada, I don't know the economics we have. I don't know the people that the president has brought into power. Ever since APC came into power, they have brought us back to an underdeveloped nation. And we are still stuck there. There is no hope of we rising up at least just ahead, coming out of the water. Can't they contact Jonathan? Can they not contact the people in the diaspora? That we have successful international and national businessmen. Can they not contact people? You put round holes in square pegs. You put acquaintances in positions and expect that miracle will happen, Canada. Look, it is high time the president call for help.
Okay.
He should call. Look, Jonathan brought Okoye-Iweala up till now. Can they not consult her? What did she do that took our currency, that took us from underdeveloped to a developing nation? And they are the ones that dragged us back. Up till now, they are telling us to be patient, Canada. From Buhari's time, the policies that he wrote, that they say, oh, we should wait in 4 years' time. Canada, 8 years has passed.
All right.
Where are the policies that Buhari put in place?
All right,
even now, the landing cost is now 700 and something naira. Look, Canada, I say the federal government has no other option.
Right.
Whatever they want to do, let them do. They should continue to subsidize fuel because we will use fuel. We must consume it.
Meryl, I've got to go now. Thank you very much. Let's read some messages. Alerus Beef on Facebook. Let FG please order South states to, with immediate effect, build modular refineries in their various states to avoid the shortage of petroleum products in our country. But, FG can order states. That's where the problem is. But thank you for your message. Also, Francis Omaga in Namani, he said, you're watching live from Amagunze in Enugu State. Good afternoon from here He who wants equity must go with clean hands. Stephen C. Igbudu says Nigerians have suffered enough from the hands of APC government, ranging from Buhari to Tinubu in the name of raising the price of fuel. The worst is in the present government of Tinubu, who even okay, I can't read that part. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Kanke Oduaka says someone said we should contact Jonathan. Laugh out loud. Funny country. People that were selling oil for 120 naira with 1 million export a day with the war in Libya then. Thank God Ability Atiku says Bola Tinubu will be regretting by now why he removed petrol subsidy. On WhatsApp, let's see. This one says, it is obvious the certificate was forged. What irritates me most is how some people sit and defend this illegality in our ID society. The cabinet members of the president should have started resigning, but they wouldn't because they all lack integrity. As for Atiku calling on Obi and Kwankwaso to join the fight, for me, neither Obi or Kwankwaso is a Supreme Court judge and has little or nothing to offer in this case. Even though Obi and the Labour Party isn't part of this fight, the Obedience have been the ones putting the pressure on APC and fully in support of Atiku Daniel from Oswaldo. But Daniel, yet again, the certificate has not been deemed to be forged. So, you can say it's forged. If CSU said that the certificate you said your president submitted to INEC is not from them, what does that mean? For me, Chambers Dictionary called forgery. By now, in sane society, Tinubu should have resigned and faced the consequences. Agbai Ogochukwu from Port Harcourt. All right, your take, entirely your opinion. This one says the way and manner everything keeps skyrocketing in Nigeria since 2015. It seems that the world wants to end and the said Antichrist will start in Nigeria. The only thing that keeps increasing is hardship in this country, and our leaders have no idea how to curtail it, it seems. And I think I have a commercial break coming up. Stay tuned. Okay, there is no commercial break, so I'm going to go on. He said it seems they don't and they are not ready to resign from office despite that they have failed. Hector with that one. Okay, this one says no matter how APC could defend the certificate scandal, it will not remove the damage in the image of Tinubu globally. I don't believe in Nigeria's judicial system, but Tinubu's name is forever Nicholas Erasmus. I can't read that. That's the office of the president, so I think it should be done with respect. But let's move on now. This one says on the CSU saga, it is observed that neither APC spokesman nor Tinubu's lawyer denied facts on the forged certificate. Let Mr. President conduct press conference today to address Nigerians on the multiple falsehoods surrounding his educational journey. If not, that means the eyes have it. No wonder he begged the American court that if his academic record is released, it would cause irreparable harm to his personality. Victor from Igmeima. Let's see this one. Hi, Kalada Do's hoping that the Naira will appreciate where it was before. Must be dreaming. In fact, the Naira have the potential to go down more, to go between 1,050 and 1,100 before the end of the year. And you went ahead to say, what I do not understand is where is the so-called unification that this administration told us that was the reason for the devaluation policy. The difference between the CBN rate and the black market is still between over 200 naira. So please, where is the so-called unification policy introduced by this administration in mid-June? All right, thank you very much. Moving on. This one says, greetings, Kalada. I think Atiku Abubakar is politically drowning and desperately looking for means for survival. The antagonism between Tinubu didn't go to school. When reality confronted them, they shifted to saying Tinubu didn't graduate from CSU, even when CSU has been affirming that Tinubu did graduate from the school. Cynics thought CSU would deny Tinubu's certification on oath, but the deposition of CSU shocked them. When the CSU deposed in affirmation that Bola Ahmed Tinubu graduated from the school. As for the age and gender discrepancies, CSU affirmed that they are clerical errors which are common to humans when making entries. On the other note, was the deposition that CSU policy permits students to print replacement dealers from outside vendors. and the certified copy and the diploma are both valid. Both cynics resulted to propaganda that CSU said the affidavit diploma Tinubu submitted to INEC was forged, though the cynics have the original one that was issued to Tinubu in 1979. Canada, CSU said they haven't seen the replacement diploma copy Tinubu submitted to INEC, but the cynics fail to understand that CSU has affirmed that the school policy allows students to get replacement diploma from outside vendors as long as the student graduated from the school. Atiku is sinking so fast, the DSS should keep an eye on him because a desperate man can sponsor. Okay, that's an allegation. Let me show you. I'm not reading that. Moving on. Atiku should allow the Supreme Court to decide on the certificate saga of Mr. President, but I believe that Mr. President will triumph at last because he never forged the certificate. We'll wait and see. We'll wait for the Supreme Court to wait and see. This one says, man of the people, greetings. I'm sure that by now Bola Tinubu will be regretting why he removed petrol subsidy. Okay, if you say so. Let's see this one. So says, I beg, where is Wiki on this certificate saga? Has he suddenly gone deaf? Is he not the one who's boasting that he's part of Tinubu's victory? Okay, in there with that one. Okay, maybe it's not. Maybe to them it's not such a big deal. So they are not much interested in it. They're much interested in. I'm not the spokesperson. I'm just saying maybe. But Melody Uniport says, how did we lose our sense of credibility? It is shameful and criminal mindedness for even a senior advocate of Nigeria tell me Tinubu's forgery case doesn't matter. It then means that exam malpractice should be encouraged henceforth. The business of some of those business centers forging certificates in our universities will strive henceforth if the matter is not considered by the Supreme Court. That's the much that I can take. It's time for me to step aside for a bit so that the business news can come your way and so that you can be abreast with the happenings in the business world. Stay tuned.
This is Nigeria's #1 talk radio station.